Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. I'm so excited for this video. Sometimes, and I talk about this all the time, but if you follow me on Instagram, we chat about this a lot. Some of the best recipes are created from either leftovers or really just using whatever you've got on hand. A couple weeks ago, I had some sun-dried tomatoes I wanted to use up, little bits and bobs in my pantry, in my fridge I really wanted to use, and I made this rigatoni and it was so incredible. I've made it several times since. A friend of mine had surgery. I brought her a whole big container of it because it's that good. Top it with burrata. It's absolutely dynamite, and I posted a reels on it, and all of you asked for the recipe on Laura in the Kitchen, which, by the way, I appreciate you so much because you could easily just recreate it from the reels, but the fact that you want to see a long, detailed video and hear me chat means so much to me, which is why I feel like this community and this channel is just so important. But anyway, let's get started. I've got my shallow Dutch oven here with a good amount of extra virgin olive oil because that's really going to be the main component of the sauce. Lots of shallots, lots of garlic, lots of marinated sun-dried tomatoes. It is dynamite. You're going to absolutely love it. I like using the sun-dried tomatoes that are packed in olive oil and herbs. Sometimes you will find you will always find sun-dried tomatoes that are just dried in like a vacuum packed package. Those are not under olive oil. Those for me are a little dry and chewy. So if you're gonna use those, which you can, just rehydrate them in some boiling water first before adding them to whatever you're cooking because it just makes the texture a lot more pleasant. All I'm doing right now is I'm taking some shallots. I want about 4 or 5 good sized shallots because this is gonna be another really key component of your sauce. The shallots are going to add lots of sweetness and it's going to be so good once we get them all in the extra virgin olive oil pool. The only annoying thing about shallots is having to peel that like thin skin. It's really, really thin and it can take forever because it just kind of gets stuck. And I don't want to peel an extra layer of shallot just to get rid of it because I don't like to waste. Shallots are all sliced up. Add it to your pan. I just turned it on. I didn't want to have the pan really hot before I add my shallots because otherwise they'll quickly grab color but they won't soften. And I did have a few tears. A really spicy shallot, let me tell you. I want these to sort of soften, develop their sweetness and their goodness and their yumminess. In the meantime, I'm gonna add a pinch of salt because that kind of helps things along. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and just chop up, come on. Well, these are really fat cloves, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use a couple of those, maybe 3, let's do 3. 3 sounds like a good number. You know what, there's also a small one that came out, so let's just go with 3.5, okay? Cloves of garlic, but really, as much as you want. It's a soul thing. Your soul will tell you how much garlic you need. Same with cheese, really. And for me, same with olive oil. Shallots are looking fantastic. I'm gonna just turn the heat down because again, I don't want these to really get dark or anything like that. I just want them to soften. I want them to really be sweet and wonderful. I'm gonna add my garlic along with a little bit of pepperoncino. I can't reach. A little bit of hot pepper flake. I like a little spice because you've got a lot of sweetness there with the shallots. So a little spice will give it a bit of balance. Just let this cook for about a minute or so. Now, for your sun-dried tomatoes, if you're using the ones that are packed in olive oil and herbs, you can see you have a lot of olive oil left under there. I don't particularly love to cook with all of that olive oil, but I love to save it for like marinades and salad dressing. It's phenomenal. But I don't like to store them without that oil because they'll just dry out and I don't want that. So I keep them in there. Garlic is looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and add my sun-dried tomatoes now. I can just sort of squeeze. There we go. You'll need about, I would say 3/4 of a jar. Usually a jar is about 8 ounces. A lot of that is also the olive oil that comes in, but I'm only doing 8 ounces of pasta today. But if you were doing more, obviously double up. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of basil. I'm just gonna let this all cook together for, I would say, 4 or 5 minutes. That is looking fantastic. Pasta water is up to a boil. Add your rigatoni along with your salt. I always tend to salt my water after the pasta goes in, because I feel like if you salt your water before, it takes forever for it to come to a boil, unless it's just in my brain. Cook that until it's nice al dente. This looks magnificent, smells fantastic. You need a little bit of more of a tomato product. I'm gonna go ahead and use some of my home canned tomatoes. Not much, but what I did the very first time I made this, I had literally like 2 tablespoons of tomato paste left in a tube that I really wanted to use up. So I went ahead and just used that with some diluted, like I diluted it with a little bit of water, and it was great. I'm gonna add a bit of water to this as well. And I'm just gonna let this hang out here. We will add more water, more of that starchy water when we go to mix it all together. But for now, this is gonna hang out here on low for a good 10 minutes. You know what I do wanna add to this? I'm gonna go grab some, a little bit of oregano. I'm gonna add a little bit of this to the sauce. Once the pasta's ready, we'll unite and we'll finish it off all together. This smells like summer and I can't wait. Pasta is about 2 minutes away from being al dente. It's still a little bit of a bite to it, which is perfect because this is when you want to add it to your sauce, and we are going to add some of the starchy cooking water, and it's really going to pull the whole thing together. Now, if you are a fan of anchovies, which I am, I do suggest you add some anchovies packed in olive oil. I do suggest you add some to this because it does give you a beautiful sort of umami salty flavor. I know not a lot of you are a fan, which is why I kept it out, but I am going to list it in the recipe as optional, simply because it's pretty phenomenal with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let everything cook together for about, I would say, 2 minutes. You want the sauce to just kind of thicken. And in the meantime, I'm going to grate a good amount of Parmigiano. I've got my burrata ready. I'm gonna grate some cheese. And that's pretty much it. That is perfect. The sauce has thickened. It's really coated the pasta well. Add your cheese. I want to turn it off. Add your parm. I coarsely grated it this time because I was feeling fancy. Oh, it's so good. You just are not prepared for how good this is. And it's so, absolutely so simple. There we go. Now here's the magic, okay? You can, if you want to, put this in a platter, yada, yada, yada. Do you have to? Absolutely not. And I'm gonna need you to come in very close for this because this is where the magic happens, okay? Watch this. Oh. Look at that burrata, which is going to melt as it sits there. And then you're gonna do a little hot pepper flake on there. Then you're gonna add a bit of cracked black pepper. And then you're gonna just coarsely grate some parm over the top. The shallot skin, whatever it's called, peel. Okay, like so, like that. And then you come in with a bit of basil, just really for a bit of freshness. And listen to me. If that does not scream perfection, then I'm not sure you are worthy of eating it. I am not sure you are worthy of diving into that because that is incredible. And I'm telling you, it is so simple, basic, very few ingredients, and it comes together so fast. Look at this. I'm gonna wanna get this piece right here. Oh. Hold on. My sun-dried tomato fell off. Here we go. A little bit of everything, okay? I'm going back in just because it is so good. It has it all. It's sweet, it's salty, it's cheesy and delicious. The pasta is perfectly cooked. You're going to love it. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. I hope you enjoy spending time with me. Please make this. It is dynamite and you cannot miss out. I hope you enjoy spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.